afternoon. Good afternoon. One of my earliest memories is of wandering through ruins in ancient Olympia in Greece. I was 7 years old on a 3-month sabbatical with my parents, and I remember feeling astounded that I was walking under doorways that had existed for thousands of years. This led me to pursue a degree in archaeology, which afforded me the opportunity of living in Italy on several occasions. And I was in the dirt, digging around, found some really cool things like Roman coins and pottery, and I was just fascinated to learn more about past civilizations. AmeriCorps enabled me to build on that idea of conserving the past and focus it more on the future of our society. As many of you know, AmeriCorps is our nation's community service program. It has placed 500,000 people thus far in positions of service throughout our country. As an AmeriCorps volunteer, you spend a year of service in a hospital or a school or a nonprofit, which is what I did. And the purpose is to really enact change from the grassroots level. The program I was part of was called the Sierra Nevada AmeriCorps Partnership, which placed 27 young people like myself in positions of service throughout the Sierra Nevada region of California, which, as many of you know, is where beautiful Lake Tahoe and Mammoth are located. And our mission was to affect and change watershed restoration and education in the communities. So for that year, I lived in a town called Bishop, which some of you may know. Probably the only reason you know it is because you've stopped for 10 minutes on the way up to Mammoth and got a delicious bakery item at Schatz Bakery. But I actually managed to live there for a full year, which was a very interesting experience. And while I was there, I worked for Eastern Sierra Land Trust as part of my AmeriCorps experience. Eastern Sierra Land Trust works with willing landowners to preserve private land in the Eastern Sierra. It's not a federal agency. It works with landowners who are really interested in keeping their land open and free for future generations. And there are a variety of reasons why you would want to do that. One is to protect critical migration corridor routes for animals like the Round Valley mule deer herd, which you see here in the photo. And these animals have spent thousands of years tracing their route from the mountains in the winter to the valleys where they spend their summers and lay their young. And what often happens is development is centralized in these critical corridors. And what Eastern Sierra Land Trust does is tries to keep those open by working with landowners to ensure that that land is remaining open and free for the future of our lifetime. Another reason to preserve landscapes is to conserve watersheds. This beautiful piece of property here is on the western edge of Mono Lake, and I was lucky enough to see it preserved while I was an AmeriCorps volunteer. And it was preserved solely for the beautiful aesthetic quality, but also for the watershed that runs through it. There was a potential that this land was going to be subdivided into 50 different units, which would have seriously negatively affected the watershed. So that was a really exciting feat to accomplish. During my year of service, I was focused on educating children and adults on the importance of watershed restoration and land conservation. And during my time as an AmeriCorps member, I began to understand that most of the water that California consumes comes from the Sierra Nevada region. In fact, all the water that you brush your teeth in, you take a shower in, you cook with, you drink, most likely comes from the Sierra Nevada. So the more I could do to teach children and adults in that region, the more it would affect our whole state to create cleaner water. So AmeriCorps really taught me that conservation is not only about bettering our past so that we get a better understanding of it, but conserving for our future, conserving our precious resources like water and land that sometimes we take for granted. So I urge you all to find what it is in your life that is worth conserving. Thank you.